say that when I'm campaigning, I don't look at who's belongs to what club, CJA, ASU, BSU. To me, if you belong to a club, yes, you're very involved, but you're also a student. So for me, everybody's a University of Baltimore student. This is how I look at everybody here. And really, this is going to be the job of the Senate next year, to going out and communicating effectively, or going out and getting feedback from students who we were talking about, the general body, the Saturday school, the people who come to Saturday on campus, night students. It's going to be a job of the Senate, because any student who comes to UB either belongs to these schools or is a freshman or a sophomore. So this is what us having a Senate gives them more representation. That's how we're going to be reaching out to them.
Can you state your question one more time?
Sure. The debate has really been focused on student groups, club organizations, but as a student government, you don't just represent clubs and organizations, you represent all students. So how do you think you can reach out to the non-traditional students, because we are such a diverse and unique campus?
First of all, we have to have some type of presence on this campus. And for the past year, we really haven't had much of a presence on campus in terms of reaching everybody. Most of us running for this exec board are students that are here Monday through Thursday. And if they are here during the weekends, they're working. So I think that we just need to come out of our comfort zone and, just be able to say, hey, let's come out here on a Saturday. Let's come out here, stay till 10:30, 10:45 when the last classes are over for the night, and just speak to people, just be open to them, and hopefully they'll be that receptive back.
What some of you may or may not know, in our current constitution, before we transition to a new one, we actually have a representative that's a non-traditional student rep who is either a part-time student or a nighttime student. I worked on along with Jesse Lynn's right there last year, and that was something I advocated for in Constitution Committee meetings this year, but a lot of my fellow colleagues didn't feel the same way to have that position, so it wasn't put in. But I'm very adamant and very passionate about having a position like we currently have. And if elected VP, I would be responsible, if they're not elected in, to finding someone to appoint to that position. And I feel I can do that. Thank you.
All right. So I'm not going to disagree with anything that these my soon-to-be cabinet members have said. That reaching out to them through town halls, just going up and talking to people, standing with a megaphone in Gordon Plaza on a Saturday, are all great ways to talk to the non-traditional students. But sort of taking this from a perspective of a business student, you got to look at your marginal cost compared to your marginal benefit. And if limited resources, you can contact a much larger group of students by going to the clubs, as opposed to trying to find individuals during those non-traditional students, then I think resources should be spent that way so that you can have a broader range of students if you are limited with the amount of time you can spend. But hopefully, now that we have 19 senators, that we'll be able to reach a much broader range of students so we can do both. So I think that's how we can reach out to those students.
All right, and I technically halfway disagree because I think too, whatever, I have 3 night classes, and we could maybe try to get something going on around, let's say like 9 o'clock maybe, whatever. But I first think the biggest thing is we of course need to first see like how the students are, because it's still, the biggest thing of course is it still would be turnout or whatever. So let's say it's only like 5 people, then it's going to be kind of hard versus if it's like 4 still, well now. So the biggest thing is pretty much trying to make sure that it's going to be pretty much cost beneficial. And so just trying to make sure the students, because that could be something that we could try to
Thank you.
Find things on Saturday.
Any other questions?
Can I answer something?
Yes. of the students only come to school like once a week. Like I know this one girl who's full-time, but she has all her classes in one day. So she's involved in the community with Respect Life, but she only comes to school one day a week. So it's like we're not just reaching out to the students that are in clubs, but we're also reaching out to students who haven't been able to get involved because of their schedule. Like a lot of people, when they attend those night classes and they attend the Saturday classes, they don't feel like doing stuff on campus. They just feel like going home and doing homework. Nevertheless, we still need to reach out to them, but clubs are a more effective way, in my opinion, of doing that because they actually get a chance to become involved.
Any other questions? Yes.
I have one question specific to the presidential candidates and then one to everybody. So to the presidential candidates, I want to ask, I know that Keenan, I read on his flyer that he had been in the SGA for 2 years. I know that Shiraz has been president. I'm not sure about Jessica, but I do want to know, outside of SGA and outside of UB, what kind of leadership qualities do you have? In the earlier question, it was asked, and you had referred to what kind of qualities you had in the SGA. But outside of UB, I want to know what kind of qualities you have that would make me want to vote for you. And then to everyone, I want to ask, everyone has been saying that no one knows where the SGA office is or no one knows how to contact them. But yeah, you can come up to me and hand me a brochure, put up a poster, or email me. I'm probably not going to read the email, I'm probably not going to read your brochure, and I'm not going to stop in the hallway to read a poster. So how do you plan on letting me know where the office is or how to call or how to reach you?
Can you repeat that first part of your question one more time?
Yes. I want to know, as your leadership qualities, everyone has mentioned the leadership that you have in SGA or at UB. But outside of UB, what is it that you do that would make you a good leader?
I'm very involved outside of UB. Before coming here, I was at a meeting at my church, and I'm in the process of starting my own nonprofit. So that's something that I'm doing right there outside of UB, is being a community activist and getting involved. Second, most of you know I intern in Annapolis. That is where the government is at, and I've learned and I've picked up on it, and I'm bringing it back to student government. Although that's state government, all this is student government, the word G-O-V-E-R, N, word government is still there. I started right now, I'm slow, I started right. Word government is still there, and I will be able to take back what I've learned in my internship, my intern in Annapolis, and be able to apply a little bit of those forms of how to pass bills, how to do legislations in the state government. So that's my leadership outside the community, outside of UB, is being involved in the community, being active with the community, and knowing government.
My leadership outside of UB, I guess I'm a manager at McDonald's. I'm going on my second year of being a manager. I got a lot of leadership skills from that. I went through a 4-month process becoming a manager, and you learn a lot, and you learn to deal with diversity in the store and how to manage people. Also, I really can't say that I'm very active outside of school because I'm here 5 days a week, and I work in CSI, and I'm just very active on campus. Actually, I was freshman rep last year, and I was secretary for the summer. I joined SEB, so I'm very, very involved on campus, but really outside, I just work and take care of my siblings.
Like I mentioned before, outside of University of Baltimore, even before I got here, at one point in time in high school, I was known as Ray Lewis, because before the games I would go out, I was known as Ray Lewis in high school. Because before I would go out for games, I was the one who would give that inspirational speech, I was the one who would pump up the whole team. So that was the leadership quality that I got when I was in high school, and I brought it here. Unfortunately, it was 2 different things. We were in a government, we were suits, and playing football, we were attached. So there's 2 different things, but what I learned from there, I brought it here. I try to guide our council in that same way I would guide the football field. And other things, I used to work for O'Malley before I got here. I currently own my own business. Is that time? Yeah? All right. So I own my own business, so I interview people. I also sit in and I decide who gets the job and who doesn't. And that's really it.
Did anybody remember the second part?
Yes.
Okay, so whoever, second part.
Maybe smoke signals? I don't know. Like, messenger pigeon? I don't know. Like,
Well, I mean, I'm telling you honestly, I get emails all the time that go right to my delete box. I see posters on the wall, but I'm not going to stop before class to read them. And if you hand me a brochure, I'm not going to take the time to like read every word.
writing chalk on the ground?
sometimes has a hard time filling her seats in our events. So you literally at times, a lot of people know me, so they're really comfortable. I wouldn't do this to a stranger, but sometimes I would just hold somebody's hand and actually take them to the event and be like, hey, come with me, trust me, you would actually enjoy this event. So that's something that I could do in order to get you more educated. I can pull you aside in the hall or whatever to get you educated about the SGA. But other than that, right, yeah, I mean, posters and emails is our primary way of communication, but at times, thank God that there are a lot of, and people know me, they're comfortable with me, so I can actually pull a lot of people to the side and actually talk to them about the
Thank you. Keenan?
It goes back to what I said earlier, something that I've learned from campaigning this past week, is people like when you go up to them and you say hello, how you engage, you ask questions. That's one form of how to reach out to people, and on a bigger mass, I think as the SGA, we can go out while people on the plaza, while you're relaxing in the student center, go out and say hello. I'm the SGA president, I'm the SGA treasurer. Our meetings on Wednesdays at 5:30, we have this event coming up, because you're right, people don't check emails and people don't check their mailboxes.
All right. I agree with Keenan that going out and talking to you is a great way to get to people, but I think with the limited resources we have, we got to move on to the people who are willing to be actively participating in our events. And you should become, if you're unwilling to look at an email, look at a flyer, I think you should almost become second to the people who are willing to participate on their own and not being forced to do so.
Yes.
First of all, as president of Respect Life Club, I would say that I have some experience with College of Arts and Sciences because I've actually gotten people to come to my events, not just by putting a poster up or sending out an email, because you know that's not very effective, but rather by offering incentives for them to come. Like, you know, if you come to my event, like say like the baby shower, you get to have a fun time, get free food, you get to be involved in the community, and you also get to help women in need. Or making bag lunches, you get to have a great time with your friends while making lunches for the homeless. So it's not like, you know, we're forcing people to come, but we're actually getting people involved in community service and having a great time. And it's like, it's not just like, you know, my word of mouth, but actually people going to their friends and their classmates and saying, look, this is a great club, why don't you become involved? And I would like to take those skills from Respect Life that I've had and gain and make a difference.
I think it is going to be mostly the senator's job to make sure the students are involved, only because I feel that it has to be more of a personal connection. It can't only be, okay, here, come to this event, but we actually get to know what you're, like, it's going to take a lot of effort, but basically know what your major is, what your interests are, how we can help you. And I may not remember every single person that walks into the Career Center office or every single person I meet, but if there's some little detail about them that I do recognize, then I'll be able to help them or tell them, you're going to be interested in this meeting or you're going to be interested in that meeting. And business cards will help. We'll try to make sure we have business cards so you have a personal, like, you talk to your senator instead of trying to get to the president and he's overwhelmed.
Thank you. Yes.
So I hear a lot of you guys saying, I wasn't saying this time, but I hear a lot of you saying that you can't use your resources on a small group. However, UB is built off of this small group. The students who can't go to school every day during the week, so they go on Saturdays and at night. So if you're not reaching out to this small group of people, then when do you reach out to those voices who are unheard? Because if you haven't asked this small group, which may have the powerful things that needs to be said to you to change your campaign or to aid in your campaign, then what?
My name is Antoine Banks. I was originally running for graduate student senate, but unfortunately due to other engagements, I'm unable to. But I have to respond to a few things. I one, believe that we should look for students who are non-traditional. That's why I decided to run originally, because I am a non-traditional student. I see the billboards, I see all these other, things out there to try to basically come to an event that starts at 4 or 5, or an event that takes place during a class hour. I can't do it. Why? Because I'm a student or I work. And I chose UV because this is a non-traditional school, but they're not living up to the status of being a non-traditional school. So, that's why I choose, and I'm sure some other people choose not to attend certain events, because we can't.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
And we have time for one more question, and then we will conclude the debate.
Can I respond to that?
Yes.
Okay. Although none of my constituency is here. Well, yeah, I went to community college, and I was a part-time student. I know what it's like to be kind of out in the ropes when you're not part of that traditional campus and you don't feel anything. So I'm going to use this time as like on a soapbox to explain you can't just kick it to senators. It's not fair for the board to say, oh, well, it's really the job of the senators to go and connect with the community. I mean, you kind of have to be able to think outside the box. Yes, we have limited resources. Yes, there's only so many hours in a day you can meet for things, and you have to have kind of a critical mass to make something worth it. But that doesn't mean you can't use your own personal network of people to spread the word. You can go on Facebook. We all check it. Go on Facebook, and people don't check emails, but that doesn't mean that you can't say to your friends, hey, can you let people know that this matters to them because X, Y, and Z? That's how you get them. You have to bond with them in some sort of commonality that makes them care. Because sometimes they won't care, but if they think that it affects them, then maybe they'll care enough. And if they don't, then you have a situation where then they kind of waive their right to complain about something.
Thank you. One last question. Yes.
Well, I'm here literally 7 days a week. So if I get elected as a senator, anybody, any student can approach me. And that's what I'm hearing her saying, that nobody, how can she vote for me? So I'm involved in everything. So if they can keep, I'm a veteran too. I'm a Vietnam veteran. And many of you don't know there's more than 300 veterans in this school. They need to approach somebody, and I want to make sure that as soon as I get into the see that they can approach me with a lot of problems that they have. They have a lot. So you can approach me, anybody, anywhere. Here, I'm at Langsdale Library, literally 7 days a week.
Thank you. I would like to thank all the candidates for coming. I would like to thank the SGA for the pizza and the BSU for the drinks. And this concludes our debate. Thank you for coming.
If any of the other club presidents would like to stay after the meeting, I'd like to talk to them.
Awesome. Say that again?
And any of the other club presidents are here, I'd like to talk to them after the meeting if they can stay for a minute.
If anyone did not get a list of the candidates, free feel to come up and take one.
Katie Lou. Katie, I was misbehaving the whole meeting. It was today.
This is tough.
Yeah, you are.
You go home, Kathy, just leave.
Huh.